live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn.
A legendary American war veteran is recruited to hunt a mythical creature.
What? That's the description? Did you forget about the other guy, the Hitler? Wasn't that kind of a bigger part of the story?
Okay, here we go.
Where the heck has Sam Elliott been? Because I missed that guy.
Yeah.
And I realized after watching this why.
He's awesome. He did another film recently, The Hero.
He also did A Star Is Born, the one with Lady Gaga, right?
Yeah, he played the father. The father of Lady Gaga. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I've always liked him, and especially when he's playing a badass, he's always good.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I think that I don't know what went on with this film. I could not have liked the film less.
Really? I like this one.
You liked this film. Why? Okay.
There's a lot going on with this one.
Yeah, exactly. What is that again?
So what I did, instead of worrying about what the heck Hitler and Bigfoot had to do with anything,
right?
It was more about him dealing with his grief and his loss and aging and the fact that he's lost a lot of people and he's made a lot of bad decisions. And
is that what it was?
Yeah, it was more about him, his feelings. It was I mean, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Like, it also had to do with his legacy, what he was leaving behind, his duty to people he loved.
Right.
So it was a little bit more about that.
Right.
About his character, not necessarily a story that was plot driven.
Okay, but wait a minute.
But it was also...
Wait.
Can I say I pulled something else out of this?
Okay, what is it?
Let me pull it out.
Yeah. No, please don't.
You can also interpret this in a totally different way, which I think I might be crazy for even thinking this.
Okay.
But it's an allegory. It's totally an allegory about the United States and communism. See, I knew you'd look at me like that.
Yeah, okay.
No, like, okay, the U.S. fighting against communism. Hitler.
Yeah.
Defeated Hitler.
Uh-huh.
And then you have Bigfoot. Bigfoot could potentially be either the Russians.
Yeah.
We have to defeat them. They're a virus that's killing everybody. Or it could be Trump. If you want to interpret it that way. I'm just saying it. I think there's more to this. There's an underlying theme going on here.
You ever heard of projecting? I think that you created a plot in your head and you projected it. Projected it onto this film.
You could take this as a character study on the main character,
this film
and what he's going
terrible.
through. Or you could have fun with it and say,
terrible.
This is about communism.
Terrible film.
I didn't think so.
Really?
I really liked it. I thought he was awesome. I thought the story wasn't, it didn't matter. It was about him going through a lot of different things. And I like how they went back to the story, and the only person that listened to him was his brother.
Right.
And I like how absurd it was, like when he was fighting Bigfoot, how crazy that was. I thought it was a good movie, but I wouldn't say it's one of the best movies. But if you want to have fun, go with the communism theme. It's a lot more fun. I mean, it's a lot more fun. So I wrote down. I see this as a story of loss, grief. The main character, Sam Elliott,
right,
goes through a lot of things where he sacrifices a lot of things.
I'm not kidding.
He loses a lot of things, including love.
I literally thought that this was so bad that I'm not kidding.
I thought it had a good story arc.
And it
had a heart. This film had a heart to it.
This film was so bad. Honest to God.
You didn't hear the beating heart?
Honest to God, this film was so bad, I couldn't figure out if it was a parody.
You didn't think it was kind of creative and fresh, like a totally different way of making this happen? The story about this sad old man.
It was terrible. Everything about it was terrible. It was
even the way they shot it. You think the cinematography?
Oh, absolutely.
I liked it. I thought it was beautiful.
The way that they shot it was everything that's especially wrong with modern cinema. I mean, bad effects, horrible camera choices. The look of it was not consistent all the way through, or it was consistently something. But I think it was no.
I thought it was shot well.
This was
I would hire this crew.
Did we watch the same film?
I think so. I don't know.
Did we? Are you sure? Now this is the werewolf, the Hitler and werewolf one, right?
The Hitler and Bigfoot.
Hitler and Bigfoot. Oh, right.
I mean, Bigfoot.
Oh, well, then I was watching the werewolf one.
I gotta say, Bigfoot wasn't a good actor, so I mean, I'll give you that.
The Bigfoot. You know what? Here's the thing. There's a couple of people in this that I love. I love Larry. Why can't I remember his name? Larry.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember either.
Yeah. What? Come on, bring
Larry
up
Miller.
his name. Larry Miller.
Yeah, the brother.
Yeah. Now I've worked with Larry Miller before, and you know, he is one of those guys that is like known amongst comedians as a comedian's comedian. You know, he's an amazing comedian. He's an amazing actor, and the thing is I have so much respect for him. I could not figure out what the hell he was doing in this. You know, him and Sam Elliott. Geez, both of them. God, what an incredible waste
of
their
different
talents.
I actually like movies like this that are just a little bizarre, but they have like more of it's more about the character rather than the
bizarre. Bizarre.
The plot really didn't drive the movie, obviously. I mean, he was telling about these things that he's done in the past,
right? And then
I like how it was kind of absurd.
Okay,
so that's why.
Kind of absurd.
Have you ever heard have you ever read any like old like Greek mythology? A lot of things aren't really what they seem to be. So the whole story about Hitler and the Bigfoot.
Right.
It probably wasn't what it was about. It was more about, let's just say, communism. What the heck? Let's talk about communism.
You're
down with communism. I'm okay. Sorry.
Metaphor.
I'm a little upset there.
I understand metaphor, allegory. I understand all these words.
I knew this was going to be a good episode.
These are not words that are outside of the realm of my dictionary. Okay, and I don't want to use all those words.
You don't have to.
I don't want to use multiple syllable words on a single syllable idea.
I'm gonna say. Let me break it down. Like Sam Elliott. Good acting.
Right.
I thought pretty cinematography. I'm trying to use. Well, that's too long. Too many syllables. Pretty pictures. Ed, brother, good. Fight scene, so absurd it was funny with the Bigfoot.
You
didn't think that fight scene was ridiculous?
I don't even know what to say.
It was funny. The Hitler thing was kind of fun too.
So
I had fun watching it. I got sucked into his story.
So at the beginning,
I got sucked into this old guy. I want to know what the heck was in that damn box. What the hell's in the box? Is he gonna shoot himself? What's going on? So I was into it. I guess I liked it more than you did, obviously.
So he dug all that up for that box.
It's an old man with regrets, man. He's been through a lot. He killed Hitler, but he can't walk around telling everybody he killed Hitler. It's the U.S. fighting against communism. They succeeded, but then they still have other enemies out there, so they got to stand to fight. And then the guy died at the end, but then he walked to continue guarding the United States.
So
I'm going.
So that was a Jesus story.
Do you see that? So I had two interpretations.
Yeah, I did.
This is kind of weird.
I actually kind of saw the New Testament coming in there, and it was kind of freaking me out.
Oh, we can work that in there if you want.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
I'm sure I could find another angle too. Probably.
I am so sure that you could.
Let me think. I'm sure there's another way to look at this. There was a dog involved. Let's talk about.
You know what? There's a dog. There was a dog involved in that last film that we saw.
That's right.
Which was so much better than this film. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
Every movie has a dog these days.
Yeah?
Pretty much.
Is that true?
Yeah. That was where you're supposed to segue into the story about this dog you worked with on a scene or something.
Well... Okay, I'll tell you. When I was growing up...
Story time.
Story time. It's story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq.
When I was growing up, there were a couple of German Shepherds that lived next door, right? And they got out one time, and so I was going up to their house, and they lived behind us, and I was going up to their house to let them know that their dogs were out. And and I knocked on the door, and there wasn't anybody there. And so I walked back. So I was starting to walk back down to my house, and the two of those dogs were walking up. And they decided that it would be a good idea just to chew me to pieces. So they did. Now I got 300. Now I was in third grade, and I got 300 to 400 stitches in my legs.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot of stitches.
Here's the thing. The thing is it imprinted on me. See, dogs do this. They bite you, but when they bite you, they put a flag on you, right? And that flag says, "Hey, I'm a pussy. You can rip me apart anytime you want." Ha 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 ha. In fact, I taste good. That's what it is. It's a taste. It's like a taste test, right? You're walking around with a review on you. If you get attacked once, and it's like, well, he has
Yelp.
He has an odor like an Armenian armpit. You're gonna love it. And so yeah, you're a walking Yelp review. That's exactly what it is. So you will be attacked again and again and again by dogs. I got my nose chewed off by a dog. Yeah. Which was really, interesting.
That's what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of Michael Jackson thing going on.
Well, I was literally walking up to a fence to do my job as a stucco man in the morning. Just barely awake like this, and all of a sudden this Doberman Pinscher comes over the dog, over the fence, grabs my nose, and then we hit each other so hard that he went back over the fence and I fell down, and it flattened my nose and ripped my face apart. And so then I had to go to the owner of that, back around the house, and go to the owner and knock on, because I needed to borrow a towel and get a phone, and he proceeded to have a heart attack, and I mean literally had a heart attack. So then I had to go into the house.
Wow, this is a good story.
There was blood everywhere. There was blood everywhere, literally. And so then I had to go into the house, and I had to call the ambulance. And as I did, and here's the thing is, these are days when you had like real phones that
they're attached to the wall and stuff.
Yeah, they're attached to the wall and stuff, and right. And so I say, yeah, we're gonna need an ambulance, and he lives like 3 blocks from a hospital, right? And so they were coming down the street, and as I heard the siren coming in, I was standing at the mirror in the bathroom, in his living room, flipping. My nose had gone flat because I had cut up either side of it, and I was going boom, boom, boom. I was like, wow, that's really a trip. And I thought, well, I'm gonna just drive to the plastic surgeon that worked on my legs. I'm just going to drive and have him put my nose together, right? And that way,
that's very Hollywood.
Well. Yeah,
I'm bleeding everywhere and my nose is falling apart.
Yeah, but you have to do it right, And the thing is so the ambulance gets there, and I walk out on the front porch, and immediately they come and they gather around and they try and get me to lay down and say, I'm going, no, I'm not the one. It's him in the living room.
That's awesome.
So finally they go after him in the living room. And I went and got in my car and drove straight, like 8 blocks away to my plastic surgeon and had him put my nose back together.
Wow.
So that way I didn't have a Frankenstein nose that had to be, fixed later on. He just fixed it up right in the first place.
Yeah, it was like more of a Dracula nose for sure.
I had a place that I was going with all this. Dogs. Well, that's going to have to be the story. No, here's the story. Now I remember. So I'm out on a location scout. So dogs are imprinted on me, right? From then on, it's like every dog that sees you is just going to freak out. And I'm not kidding. So I'm on this location scout, and we're out in the hills above Sherman Oaks. So we're way, way, way out there, and we're at this big ranch, and we're walking as a group up the driveway, and I'm not kidding. There's an acre of grass on the right side and an acre of grass on the left side, and they both have those horse fences, right? And we're going up the aisle with the horse fences and stuff, and and there's a dog, like approximately a half mile away. in the middle, in the far end of this field, and we're walking as a group, and it's this big German Shepherd, and we're walking as a group, and we walk around, we're walking up the driveway, right? And all of a sudden that dog turns, he looks at us, and he sees the electric sign on me that says prime meat. That's blinking, right? And he starts to run towards us, right? And it's really funny because I'm with the location manager, and we're at the end, and we're talking about this, and he looks and he says, "Should we be concerned about the dog that's running towards us?" Because he was doing that, that low down. And I said, "Well, hold on, let's try an experiment. You guys just everybody keep walking. I'm just gonna pause here." And I did, with the location manager standing next to me. And I did. And everybody else kept walking like this. And the dog didn't veer towards them at all. He was coming straight towards me, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, keep going. I told the location manager to go join the group, right? And just as the dog got to the fence and ducked, just as he ducked underneath the fence, I jumped up in the air.
Yeah.
And he went under the fence, under me, under the fence on the other side, and out into the field, and does this turnaround. And just and so everybody's walking up there like, and it just turned out to be a face-off between me and this dog.
Nice.
And so then me and the dog had a face-off, and by this point I realized
like a Nick Cage.
Yeah,
it was. That was a face-off. Nick Cage and
Travolta. Right, that's right.
Going at
yeah, it was a total face-off.
It was epic, right?
Yeah, it was totally epic. It really was.
I can hear the music right now.
Because then he goes out and he does this turnaround, and it's like and then I decided, at this point it got to the point to where I was just like, I was growling at him.
Yeah.
And the both of us are growling at each other, and the whole crew, which is maybe about 50 feet up, is now just staring back at the two of us, looking at each other. And then so finally I start to walk. He doesn't come closer to me because he wanted to know how I did that trick. Yeah. He wanted to know
where you disappeared.
Where I disappeared. Right? And so we walk back towards the crew, and I'm like side eyeing him, and he's now side eyeing me back the other way, and we're staying exactly the same distance apart and just walking up to the crew like that, and he shadows us all the way, just looking at like that was pretty interesting, I have to say.
Wow, you have bad luck.
No, it's not bad. No, it's not bad luck. It was a very specific thing.
Well, I've been bit by dogs, but I'm thinking like toy poodles is what.
How many stitch? Yeah, toy poodles.
But I've overcome, and I can walk up to dogs, random dogs in the street, and pet them.
Oh well, I have totally overcome, but in a different way. I mean, now dogs.
And stuff?
Well, no, they respect it now because they know that I've had a couple of instances where dogs have attacked me, and I've just put my hand down their throat. Which is my new dog trick.
That's a good trick. I like the disappearing one. I'm gonna try that one.
Yeah, well, that was a time and place thing.
So is this an allegory for something?
Absolutely not. It absolutely is not. This is. What do you think this is, Stuber? So this is.
Did you know that the visual effects for this movie, the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot? I don't know why I'm gesturing so wildly.
Yeah, why are you gesturing wildly?
The visual effects were created by a 2-time Academy Award winner Douglas Trumbull.
Yes.
Just thought I'd put that out there.
I've worked with him. So
there you go.
Yeah, and they were terrible. Just the whole thing was terrible. Terrible.
I thought it was good. I'm going to give this a pretty high rating.
Yeah, really?
Higher than you, I imagine.
I am only going to give this a 2, and only for the reason that Larry Miller,
I think you have to have a special affinity for weird movies like that.
For really bad, crappy movie, poor directing.
Like, you remember that movie with
horrible dialogue?
Aubrey Plaza where she was the zombie?
Yeah.
That's kind of the same kind of vibe, I think.
But...
And I really like that one.
But yeah, I like that one too. I do. But I don't think that this one didn't have a vibe.
Sam Elliott. He carries me through. He gives me a little bit more. It's like Sam Elliott took my hand and said, "Come with me. I'm going to take you on this weird, bizarre trip." And I went with him.
Okay.
And I saw 2 different movies at the same time. I mean, who could interpret movies the way I do? 2 totally different ways of looking at it. I
got a bridge I can sell you.
I'd like to see some people like respond to this. Like maybe they agree with my second idea.
I ain't gonna be that guy. It ain't gonna be me. It could be somebody. It ain't gonna be me.
So I'm thinking about times when I was in film school and people would be like, they would see like 5 different ways. They're all BSing like, basically to impress the teacher.
Oh, exactly.
The teacher was like, "Oh yeah."
It's like playing 2 jazz songs at the same time.
But really, it's all subjective though. You can interpret a film however you want. It's like listening to music. It's like you can interpret it any way you want.
You have no idea.
I've heard songwriters say that.
You understand that.
It's not what I wrote the song about, but it's okay that you think that.
Do you understand how many times I have heard like other people's description? I tell you, particularly there's one particular film, The Hidden.
Yeah.
The Hidden. People always a lot of reviewers and a lot of classes and stuff have seen The Hidden and put layers and layers and layers of meaning on it and stuff, and then they put layers and layers and layers of meaning on everything, like the design and this and that and the next thing, and you're going, yeah, well.
So someday you're saying Sausage Party is going to be taught in classes, and there are going to be all kinds of layers and layers of discussion about metaphors.
I don't want you talking bad about Sausage Party.
All kinds of stuff.
Sausage Party had the best last 15 minutes of a film I've ever seen in my life.
That was an amazing movie. That's one of my favorite movies for sure. Yeah.
I loved Sausage Party all the way through. Yeah. But the last 10 minutes of it, I had trouble breathing. I was laughing so hard.
I agree. So I would rate that pretty high too.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand. We should review Sausage Party sometime.
Actually, there was another one I really liked with it's like the same kind of movie, but there's an awesome sex scene in it, and it was like Team America.
Oh, Team America. Right.
With the old Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, right. I haven't seen Team America.
There's a good sex scene.
I really do have to see it. There's just no doubt.
Especially if you watch Thunderbirds Are Go.
Thunderbirds Are Go. I watched all of that.
I just watched the marathon last weekend.
Did you?
It was on Pluto, and I found a TV.
Oh, really?
It was
that's right.
Endless episodes. My wife was like, "What are you watching?" I'm like,
"Are you kidding? You don't recognize the Thunderbirds? The Thunderbirds are amazing."
I like watching it to see the weird, how they did stuff. It's just bizarre. There's one scene where they're driving in a car, and there's supposed to be sand blowing up behind them,
right?
But they use smoke, it looked like cigarette smoke, just kind of billowing behind them.
Yeah, right. Oh man, I swear, I love the car. Penelope? Lady Penelope? Her car was amazing. The limousine they had. I remember when I was a kid thinking to myself, how did they steer that thing?
Right.
Because it had two axle front wheels. You're like, how does that actually work?
Balance.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, the last episode I saw was about this bridge. There's this bridge that they had to get this rocket across.
Oh, right, yeah.
it was like a nuclear warhead.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get it across, and they were inspecting the bridge, and the other guy was like, "We don't have time for this." And the guy was like, "I don't think it's gonna hold." He's like, "No, it's gonna make it. We have to get this there by this time."
Did Thunderbird 2 come?
And what's gonna happen?
Yeah, well, exactly.
So the bridge collapsed, and then the rocket fell in, and the guys in the rocket were trapped.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
The problem with this, I fell asleep, so I don't know what happened.
Oh, well.
But anyway, if you remember that episode, I don't know what happened. I'm sure they got out of it somehow.
The thing is this: I watched them all when they were first playing on American TV, and I just loved them. I mean, they were.
I didn't discover them until later, a lot more recently.
Yeah. No, we were watching them in when I was a baby, 62, 63, 64. That was I never saw them in color. That's how I like to see Team America, just see it in color. I've only ever seen them in black and white.
Wow.
Are they in color?
Yeah, the ones I were watching were colored.
Really?
in.
I didn't even know that.
Some
Anyway.
amazing stuff. How they drink coffee and stuff. It's just everything's awesome about it.
So what would you rate this movie?
The man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot. Well, let's talk about this.
We have been talking about this for a long time.
There's a lot of bizarre movies. Like I would probably say like Fargo or any of those movies are kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Similar kind of vein.
Yeah.
I'd give those probably a 4 or 5 on a general basis, like Hudsucker Proxy things.
Well, right,
really off
because
the wall
those
stuff.
are brilliant. Yeah.
This is off the wall too, but I would still give it a high rate. I'd give it a 2.8, like almost a 3, but a 2.8. It would have been a 2.2 if anybody else besides Sam Elliott was in the main role. So where are you with this? At a 1?
I was shaking my head.
I know, that's why I was laughing. I like when we disagree. 'Cause
I didn't like any of it. I
Maybe it's a special movie that's just meant just for me.
It must have been.
It spoke to me somehow.
It had your name written all over it. Kurt Thomas.
You should probably watch this at least 3 more times and really decide what you think.
You think? I don't think. I tell you, there are things that are going to happen in life, and those things that are not. That's a lot of not.
And I'm going to videotape you watching it.
Yeah. No.
We'll make a short film.
I'm never going to watch that again. You know, here's the thing that really blows me away is I like the combination of Sam Elliott and Larry Miller so much that I watched this in real time. I didn't like speed it up or anything. And I actually, so it was 1 hour and 37 minutes, and I know exactly how long it was. I know every minute of it.
Right.
1 hour and 37 minutes. I never sped it up once in honor of those two. And it's puke.
You should take those scenes and like re-edit some dialogue that you'd rather have them say.
Really good dialogue? You mean actual writing?
It
It was terrible.
Obviously.
I'm giving it a 0.5.
Obviously, we're a point system with Ebert here.
4.3. Maybe a 2.
Wow.
0.2.
It keeps going down.
0.2. It's going to go down.
But let me tell you why Valley of the Dolls is one of the best movies ever made.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
I'm totally lying.
Please, yeah,
I don't feel that way.
absolutely.
I really thought the Valley of the Dolls was terrible.
I'm done. I'm done here. I've rated it. I'm through.
I want to hear from people that agree with me. If somebody could just please write an email. Just one little email. How hard is it? Or tweet us? Or Facebook? Something. Just send me a message on email saying how much you agree with me and how wrong Mick is this time. Just this once. He's only wrong once in a while.
Ugh.
But anyway.
Bye.
We got some good stories out of it, though, right?
Bye. I'm taking my mic and I'm going home.
You should go out that door. There's a dog outside.
Oh, it's...
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.